Hello everyone, it's dragonplatinum here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I built my drone. Now, a lot of you guys have sent me messages and comments and stuff on how I actually built my camera drone that I use for the build battles, for the big competitions, and generally just for flying around whenever I need to. Now, it's pretty easy, and actually let me just remove these really quick because that wasn't part of it. It is really easy, but I'm going to show you how to do it today. Now, I actually did have this shown to me by somebody else. I will link his YouTube channel down in the description down below if you want to check him out. TJ.EXE really helped me out with this, and he's the one who showed me how to build it, because I probably would have never built this myself. So this might be a little bit of an odd tutorial for me to try to do for you, but I'm going to see if I can make it happen and try to put this together. Rebuilding is going to be kind of hard for me since I actually didn't really properly build it myself the first time around, so this is going to be interesting, but we're going to give it a try. Okay, I think that should give us enough room to work with, and we'll build our new one right here so that I can follow through with you guys, do it like a step-by-step thing, and we can actually make our new camera together. Okay, so I'm going to try to walk you guys through step-by-step to the bottom, since it's the most, hardest part, and we're going to work our way up slowly, and I'm going to see if I hopefully have enough room to build my second one right smack dab here without breaking anything too bad. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to take half blocks, and we're going to take it up by 3, and we are going to make sure that it is at least 5 blocks apart for this to work. So make sure it's like 5 blocks apart, and then we're going to use half blocks and up by 3 on each side. After that, we're going to take half wedges and 2 more half blocks, and we're going to make kind of like a little arch over the top here, and move on to our next step. Next, we're going to take 2 half wedge downs and place them like so. Then we're going to take 2 motors and pop them on like that. Now we're going to take some half blocks and put them like so. Take some big blocks and put them like that. This will be the rest for your camera, so if you want, you can go and find your camera and pop it in. Next, we're going to take 2 more motors and we're going to add them like so. Then we will take a half wedge and place it in between them. Next, take a half block, place it here, and then look and find rope and add it on like that. Then take some more half blocks and place them across, still leaving that 1 gap space. This is where we're going to be putting in some ballast blocks. So we're going to take a few of the ballast blocks and then we're just going to pop them in like this and add a second layer. Now we will edit the values in those afterwards, but first we want to get the actual entire structure built before we start messing around with motors or any of these ballast things, so that we can make sure everything looks right and then we can balance it afterwards. Next up, we're going to take some 1x2 wing panels and place them like so, with one facing this way and the top one facing that way. Then we are simply going to pop a block on top, grab our pilot seat, which I cannot grab, so I will just put a fake pilot seat in. But this is where your actual pilot seat will go, and that will be where you sit to operate this camera drone. Next thing, after we've got this all done, we're going to add 13 blocks on top of this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. After you've done that, add motors here, and on the back here. Now we can actually start to build our first ring. So you're going to go 5 on every single side, along with a wedge to connect them. Attach the wedges, and then it should look like that when you are done. Next, we're going to take 2 1x3 wing panels and just place them in the center of the sides where the motors connect to. After you've done that, it's time to work on your second ring. Attach some more motors, 3 here, as well as 3 here, and then we can start to build our second ring around it. Okay, so now we are working on our second ring. So for the second ring, make sure that it sticks out from our 2 motors, and on each side, it should end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 long, as well as we're going to be adding a few helium blocks at each end. I'm also quickly going to jump to the top really quick here and just make sure that you add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks on each side sticking out. It should end up looking something like that, and then we're going to attach some helium all around the end. Once you're done, your top should look something like this. The back and the front should have 1, 1 on each side of this middle block, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the back. That'll be for these two parts. With the seat sitting there, that'll be your front, that'll be your back. Now, if you're going to go to the sides, on the left and right sides, it has to be 1, 2, 1, 2, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 helium blocks on these sides. So it should look like that, as well as you should add a few helium blocks in the center here like this, in this like little triangle formation I put it in. Now that we spent some time messing around with the upper part, and it is pretty much done, let's work on our final ring. So first we have to clean up our second ring here, so make sure you add some 1x3 wing panels to it on the sides where the motors are. Now we're going to need to add some more motors, 3 more to be precise, on each side, sticking out from the center. And then we can start on our final ring. Now the next part that we're working on is going to be that final ring. Now what I did to make it maybe a little bit easier for you is if you basically go out 3 blocks from each of the helium corners and then put a helium block and then attach them, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Just make sure that you delete the little guidelines afterwards, because they will kind of mess up the flying capabilities of this thing. But after you're done, it should look something, like what we've got here. Now the only thing that we need to add is going to be our actual movement in our propellers. So that's going to be kind of hard, but it'll be super easy once we actually get it done, and it's going to look something like that. So let me get to putting it together, and then I will show you guys. I almost forgot something. I totally almost messed this up. Also, don't forget to add some 1x3 wing panels on the final ring where the motors stick out of, like that. There we go. So first what we're going to do is we're going to take some small propeller engines and basically just kind of dot them around the corner like so, as well as we're going to add one about 4 spaces away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it will sit there like that. And then we will also take a normal propeller engine and pop it on the corner like that. This one has to be the one that's facing back, as well as it's going to be on the same for the front. I just gotta delete some more of the big one to make some room. Also remember to do the same thing that you did over there on this side, just basically flipped by doing it like this. And don't forget that 1 propeller, 2, 3, 4, like that. I'll just quickly show you each side just so you have an idea. So there is the front left side, front back side, right back side, and right front side. Okay, so here is where the complicated part begins. So what you're going to want to do is all these motors we put in, unpower them. Make sure that you have unpowered every single motor up top, because we want these things to swing freely, because they will help us give the whole drone balance when we're around flying and trying to get some cool camera shots. Alright, once all your top motors have been unpowered, we're going to go down to the bottom motors and work with them. For these front 2 motors, make sure they are also unpowered, and as for the back ones, you can use kind of whatever you want here. I personally chose to use R to make the camera go face down, as well as F to bring the camera up. But that's totally up to you, and you can change it to whatever you want. If you just want to use my control scheme to begin with, and then you can like edit it, go right ahead. We're also going to want to do the same thing for our rope. So again, I used R and F, and the thickness and speed, make sure they are exactly the same. So next up is the ballast blocks. Now these guys can be a little touchy at times, but I'm going to show you exactly what I used for each of my blocks. If you got to change it yourself, make it a little bit lighter, a little bit heavier, go right ahead and do it to your own thing, but I'm going to show you what I have on my drone. So right now, the bottom middle block is going to be 8. The bottom right block is going to be 10. Bottom left block is also 10. The top center block is 4. Top right is 5. And the top left is 5. Now let's give this a try and make sure that it actually floats properly. And we are looking good. So everything is totally fine right now. However, when you look right now, if we turn on all our propellers, we're not going to go anywhere. Although the other one is moving. But we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So what we got to do is we got to mess with every single propeller to make it kind of work in a 360 environment. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the propellers. So make sure that your propellers look like this in the corners. So here is the front of it. So we got our normal propeller just kind of chilling beside the helium block. We got the tiny propellers all over it, as well as a propeller about 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks off, just sticking there. Now I'm going to show you guys what I use for my control so you have an idea. So let me just show you. So my front, to actually move forwards, I use W and S, and it has to be on-off only mode because this will give you like that instant power so you can constantly move as quick as possible. To go up, I use E and Q. To go down, I use Q and E. To move to the left, I use number pad 1 and keypad 2, although you can use something different, but I just found that to be pretty easy. Now the hardest part comes with turning. This is going to be a little bit confusing to begin with, but it makes sense once you actually do it. For my front right, I want to use D and A to turn right. Now, if I go to my back left, you will notice that it is also D and A. This is because if I go like this, it will turn like that. So if we look just really quickly on how mine turns, you know, if I press D, it will make these two activate, which makes me spin right, and if I press A, it'll make these two spin up, which will make me turn left. So it's really easy. You guys can use your own control scheme. You just gotta make sure that it is like on-off only mode, because if you do like the normal power-up thing, it's slow and really weird and doesn't work properly. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it on how to build this. It is pretty simple once you actually like get it up and running, and it makes more sense as you go along. I hope this tutorial makes sense. It's definitely the first one I've ever made of playing crazy, and I'm not going to pretend to be any kind of tutorial guy. This was shown to me by TJ.EXE. Again, I will leave his link in the description down below if you want to check out his channel. So big shout out to him for this. But you guys have been asking this for a long time, so I thought I'd at least try to show how my drone works and maybe give you guys an idea on how to make your own. But anyways, guys, that's really all I've got for this little tutorial. I don't know if I'm ever going to do one of these again. I'm not really a tutorials guy for playing crazy because my builds are never exactly the best, but this one helps me out a ton, and you guys have wanted to know for so long how to make it work, so there you go. There's how you make it work. So anyways, guys, that's really all I've got for this video, so hey, if you guys liked this video, feel free to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, it's dragonplatinum, signing out. Peace out, guys. Bye.